That's the game. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Broken Chains podcast. I am your wonderful host, Brian Ricks. And today, I'm going to start doing something a little different. I thought I might as well get me a partner in crime. Since I used to have a partner in crime back in my addiction, but no. I wanted to bring my sis on here because, I love her transparency. I love how you are always putting your best foot forward despite your circumstances. So, spur of the moment, let's just see how it goes.
Let's swing it.
That. So, how was your day today?
It was eventful. Actually, I had counseling this morning.
Okay.
Which was a fantastic session. I doted on all the love and support that I had been getting from my social media family. I got to babysit 2 beautiful girls today that just made my day. That melted my heart. So I'll take that as a win.
Okay.
Other than that, it was an eventful but quiet day.
So what was that post that I'd seen? Something about like asking if your man was old. I was getting off.
So a little while after we moved in here, there was somebody that moved below, and I had been upstairs. Apparently, this gentleman had seen me quite often and had caught Sean when he was coming up to the room and asked him if I was his mom. Because he was interested. Well, first of all, saying that I look like his mom is not going to get you any points at all.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, so I seen a picture of bro when on the little video and had to go back and look at it. And I'm sitting here like
right.
So, I joke a lot about a lot of things. And I guess it's, 40 is the new 30.
Apparently.
50 is the new 35. I mean, like, if I shaved all this off, nobody
you wouldn't even look the same.
Nobody would even be able to tell I'm 50. So I keep this because
you can't tell now.
Well, a wise person once told me, and I see this, I think it's in Proverbs. The glory of a young man is in his strength, but the glory of a wise man is in his gray and his experience. So
absolutely.
A lot of times I'm surrounded by individuals who are younger or stuff like that. And what's the hip word? These little YNs or these young bucks or these,
So I have a story when you're done.
And no, go ahead, sis. We're just talking shop.
So there was an episode today when I was watching the girls. And, even though it was snowing and chilly outside, I still had the front door open. All of a sudden, like this just goes to show some. I'm not judging. This is my opinion. Some of the parents and how they raise their kid today. These
this is gonna be
like 4 or 5 little boys, no older than 10, 11 years old, were riding their bikes up and down the street. And the words that were coming out of their mouth, yelling, So I stepped outside. I see this blue Explorer like chasing these kids. And she's screaming at them that they just stole out of her yard. And like, it was really dramatic. And I stepped out on the porch and I said, "Excuse me, I don't know what neighborhood you're from, but you can get back over there because in this neighborhood, our kids don't need to be hearing that." And they left.
Well, there's a difference, and this is just me, and my. And I think that this plays a large part in why a lot of people fall into addiction. And I'm not trying to sit here and get on a soapbox, but I really think about that gap of surrogate family. Like when I was 10, 11 years old, I could get in trouble by any one of my mom's friends. I called them my aunts because they were pretty much like family.
That's how we were raised.
And look, now I understand that I have maybe made some bad choices in my life, but I can say this without even sweating. I have never once stolen from my mother.
Right.
I have never once disrespected my mother. I may not have lived up to the standard that she had. And I'm not trying to sit here and say I'm better than anybody. It's just that there were a couple things that we learned back in the earlier years. Like if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you knew this.
Yes.
You know, back when the phones, you had to do this.
And not you had this. To stretch the cord.
But parents carried themselves, and no matter what flaws there were, like I remember when there was no TV during dinner time. We sat at the table and we ate and we talked. There was no like curfew. I didn't know what curfew was
until when the lights came on.
When them street lights came on,
your ass was home.
So I think that's where the difference is nowadays. There's a difference. Like a lot of my kids' friends sit there and try to, talk to me like we're cool, like we're on equal levels.
Right.
I'll look at my kids. I'll be like, they must be talking to you. I don't know who Brian is. I know who Mr. Ricks is. I know who Sir is. You know, yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
It's just like I was thinking today, when I had counseling earlier, I was thinking, I started smoking cigarettes when I was 8 years old. That should have been red flags for any adult that paid attention. And then as a punishment, my mom's boyfriend went and got 3 packs of Camel non-filtered cigarettes.
Oh, you
and made me smoke them back to back until I physically got sick.
Oh yeah.
Everybody says that marijuana is a gateway drug, that, this, that. Honestly, my first addiction ever was cigarettes.
Yeah, I never really was the cigarette one and stuff like that, for the simple fact that, like, I don't know, like you want to know how I never really became a drinker, and here's the reason why. So my great grandmother, Essie McKesson. Now, when I say this woman was OG status, like literally, for the people who know this woman or who knew this woman, she made Tyler Perry's Medea look like Miss Brady off the Brady Bunch. Like the whole moo moo. the cast iron skillet, playing grit ball, snatching people by their suede sideburns, calling the child every other name but the one that was given
I
to
love
him.
it.
But she used to have this thing called snuff. And it was
Yes.
in like the little video can like that.
Yep,
And
I
she used to
remember.
spit it. She used to spit it in her what's the name, but I never knew she was spitting it up in there. So, so you know me. I'm like, and so I'm like this. I grab it, right? And I'm like,
Oh no.
I don't even taste it. I swig it down and I dang near choked to death. And she's sitting there around the corner by the kitchen watching me. And she's like, tastes good, don't it? I'm like, no. So that's never really like drinking or stuff like that. I
I
guess
feel you.
it was just never my cup of tea. Just like this generation now, people want to be friends with their children, and I just don't see it. You don't have to be your
I
kid's
have
friend.
had too many traumatic things happen to me because of alcohol.
Uh-huh.
My husband was a very, very bad alcoholic. My dad was a very bad alcoholic. You know, it is true. 100%. It is true when they say that women marry their fathers and men marry their mothers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely true.
Well, I don't know about all that, but I will say this though. The wonderful queen that I have now, I'm the baby. Let me paint this picture.
She
I'm the
must be one
baby.
hell of a one.
I'm one of three. There's my sister, 2 years later is my brother, and then 2 years later there's me. I'm the
See, I
baby.
got middle child
I've
syndrome.
always been the baby. But tell me how I get with Amber. And my mom sometimes acts like that's her child.
That's awesome.
I'm yours. But I love it for the simple fact that I see like a lot of things in my wife that my mom had taught me to look for.
Oh yeah, and I
That I was
totally
never that I
believe
never
that a
really
lot of
paid
people can
attention to.
relate to that.
Yeah.
Like, I never looked at it that way until I was much older, and I was like, man, people are right. You know?
Well, it goes like this, and I said this a long time ago, and it kind of stuck. A man, and this is just my opinion, it's not something, it's just something I pieced together from what my
Right.
mother and some of these powerful women taught me. A man truly does not know who or what he wants in this world until he finds the woman that God put in place to show him not only what he was created to be, but to walk beside him when he creates that greatness. I wanted big booties, big butt and a smile and all this other stuff. And you know what? You get it. But you also get all these other things that go with it. So I needed somebody to walk by me, not only in my recovery, but in my purpose, because I'm a whole lot. I mean, like I am the male.
You're a Cancer. Of course you
I
are.
am like the male version of a diva. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You think you're a whole lot. I'm a Leo. I'm a whole lot.
Look, but I say it like this, like, I think that's why now my recovery works so well, is because my sobriety date is the same as Amber's. We literally started our recovery journey on the same day at the exact same time.
That is amazing.
And as we started working our recovery, I supported her for her path because I've noticed what she's missing, I have. Amber is not really the person, and this is just my perspective. Amber likes working behind the scenes. Like if Amber was not my queen, this kingdom would have burned a long time ago. I really need that. But it's like she's the person that not only holds everything together, she makes it work. I give her an idea of my vision. And
Absolutely.
it's like she gets it. I don't have to quantify it with all these grammatic big words. She just gets it. And I think that's why I'm blessed to be where I am right now, is because all the women my wife hang around with are in recovery.
See, that's amazing.
Her friend Kessler, I call her wife number two because Amber takes care of her son. I help take care of her son. And if she needs anything, she know we got her. And
Right.
then there's our friend Raven, our friend Tasha you just talked to, my niece Emily and her fiance Christian, all these women she surrounds herself with.
Right.
And I love the fact that they support her while supporting me.
Absolutely.
And I'm the same way. Like my best friend, and this is my dude. Like Brian is like
I've heard you talk about him.
when look, and I'm not trying to overinflate this. It's just that when I see Brian is one of those quirky guys that just he brings peace and serenity. Like that's his MO. And there's times to where he goes through things and like I'm not trying to tell his business because that's not my place, but like yesterday
Right.
he popped up and he was going through some stuff and I'm sitting here on the phone and I was like, damn, I'll be there in a minute. And I didn't even bat an eyelid. Amber said, what's going on? I told her, hey, Brian's going through some stuff. Do you want to go? She said, no, go take care of your friend. And I jetted over there, grabbed him his cigarettes and his Monster Energy drink, and I sat there and I listened to him. And it dawned on me how life works because when I was in my addiction, he was the only one that never closed his door on me. He would invite me over for coffee and video games and tell me to go rest on the couch because I'm one of those people because of my PTSD. I'm real cautious when I sleep because to me that's the only time I'm vulnerable.
Yep.
I've never felt threatened. His house has always been like sanctuary to me. And so I find it ironic sometimes that no matter who you are, you can get put in places to where you were meant to be for divine intervention. And I love that. I love that's how we get to live our lives now. I went from being a true monster. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat my past. You can Google me. You can go to Court
You
Connect.
know, we can't regret the things that we've done because it's made us who we are today.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's one thing that I had to learn was I can't regret anything. Would I have changed some things if I could? Of course, but I don't regret anything.
Somebody asked me once too, would I change something? And I had this weird, quirky answer. I was like, what's the point? I don't believe in fate.
Right.
I believe in divine appointments. Like, say, for instance, you want to go down this road, and this road goes that way. And you normally take this route, but today you decided to take this route. And on this route, you get a flat tire. And you know how we normally go, man, I should have went this way.
Yep.
How do we know that if we went this way, the same thing wouldn't have happened?
Right.
How do we know that it couldn't have been worse? So instead of regretting or having problems with things that may have happened, I say you either grow and learn from it or you let it become a boulder that you carry around.
Yep. A fixture.
Yeah, not me.
Well, for the longest time, and I used to tell everybody this for the longest time, and I kind of still do. Because I was a crappy person. I was not a good person at all when I was in my addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of wrong things,
Mm-hmm.
as we all do. I was not a nice person. I was very rotten. And for the longest time, and still do, I used to think that with my kids passing away in 2020, that was my punishment.
Why? If
I
you don't mind
think,
me asking, if you, I'm not trying to dredge up old things.
no, you're good.
Sometimes when I hear things, it's hard because I've never really been through it. So I'm trying to get a better understanding. So I ask people sometime to
Absolutely.
unpack it. Waiting on you.
Um, um, as of why, I think because I wasn't a good person, because even though I never ever, not once, used in front of my children, never. They weren't dumb. They knew what was going on.
Oh yeah.
Um, but it still made me sometimes unpresent when I should have been present. So I guess that's just my brain's way of justifying,
Mm-hmm. Well,
because trust me, I was mad at God for a long time.
oh yeah, I fully understand that. You know, the human brain is, to me, the most, is by far the greatest bioengineered thing in existence. It has the ability to not only find ways to preserve its existence, but it'll also sabotage its own safety and well being in order to achieve that which it thinks it needs. So, ego is just a defense mechanism to guard your character and your values. Pride is your, for lack of better terms, your narcissistic mindset trying to strut like Ric Flair.
Right.
And honestly, if you look at it, it's the same as anger, joy, and sadness. It's doing what it's supposed to do given the circumstances and the limited resources it has to work with. I'm a firm believer that most people, and this is on me and mine, get into addiction because they're trying to either change the way they feel or not feel at all with the limited resources they have. And when given the option, a person would rather feel good than feel bad.
Absolutely.
I don't know what human being will, and I'm not saying they don't exist, you know, Some people are a little bit different. But when I started to sit and think, I'm like, I started asking myself these hard questions around 2020, 2021. If I was to relapse, I don't want to know what the cause would be. I want to know the reason why I want to change what I'm feeling. Like, you know, this is the longest, and I mean like right now, where I'm at today, on 420 of all days,
Right.
I am sitting here on a podcast, and it's 6:33 Central Standard Times with my adopted sister, and I feel immaculate. Like this is the first time in years that I have never had the urge to want to change how I feel. Even on
Absolutely.
even on days where work drives me. And it's not the work itself. It's I'm in a place where our fundamental, what's the word I'm looking for? Vision statement is to help create a culture or a community where people can be safe in their own skin while doing the right thing. And that's kind of the mantra. And I guess I'm at a point right now to where I see things that most other people don't see. And I know there's people who are wiser than me that see the things that I miss. But I see it sometimes and I want to sit there and say, man, this is what you do. This is what you should do. But my job doesn't require me to fix your problems.
Right.
My job requires me to help you figure it out because the answer is already there. It's working the Rubik's Cube to find the right place where
Yes.
everything goes. And I tell people
It's
curing
possible.
addiction, it is possible. People say
It's
Rubik's
possible.
Cubes are the hardest things. Truthfully, it's not because if you
Nope.
really wanted to do it, you would take each piece off and
Yeah.
put them where they go. We want to do things our way because we figure we can work it out. And I'm
Right.
not saying that it's not possible. I'm not saying that. But I'm learning to where even when things get hard, I would rather feel the feeling of being disappointed, sad, mad, or happy. I would
Sure.
not want to alter anything. That's why I sit there sometimes and I just feel so sad when I hear some people worry about this, that, and the other. And it's like people sit there and say, man, you shouldn't be mad. I'm like, you mad? He's like, yeah. I'm like, why are you mad? Man, some dude called my woman the B word. And I'm like, so what's the problem?
Right.
Like if somebody called Amber or my mom, yeah, like, why would I not get mad? And it just boggles my mind that there's always been this whole lie when it comes to emotional intelligence for men that sadness is a weakness. And
Absolutely. I
and
could
I'm a
not agree more.
and I'm a firm believer that if a boy would have been taught how to work through his feelings, like how can you really not how can you not respect love if you've never had it crushed?
Hmm.
How can you respect somebody if you haven't been disrespected? How can you learn to be selfless if you've never had to be selfish? So, all these emotions that we go through, we're supposed to go through them. I'm a firm believer that if we weren't supposed to get mad, God would not have given us the ability to. And I'm to a point right now where I'm having to step away from a lot of conversations and things because I'm seeing people trying to, this is just from my opinion, play God.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I'm not, I'm just, I'm just me. I'm just a guy in Arkansas trying to live his best life, to walk in his purpose and make every step, every place that I pass by better than how I got it. Make every person I meet just a little
I
more
feel that in
joyful.
my soul because, you know, everybody in recovery, I don't care who it is, everybody says, if I can do it, anybody can do it. All right. Now, everybody has their own story. I get that. But mine's a little different.
Right?
And I honestly believe that if I, who's lost my children, who has a terminal cancer, who is homeless still, if I can stay on this road to recovery, then literally anybody can.
Yeah.
I have gone through more traumatic, heartbreaking experiences that it got to the point that my cancer doctor even said, you know, I can't say this professionally, but I know you're using.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as it's keeping you active and moving, the only thing I can say is if it's working, don't stop. He wasn't saying that facetiously or like from a medical point of view, but he understood my situation. And me as a person, every day I wake up and I put my feet on the floor, the first thing I do is thank God.
Yeah.
And then I think to myself, with all the terrible stuff that I'm still going through right now as we speak, and being homeless and battling cancer and, you know, just really going through some crap, that that's not what I'm thinking about. I don't want sympathy. I don't want pity. If I can get through to just one person, I will take that win. But always in the back of my head is there's somebody out there that has it worse than I do, you know? So I guess in my walk on this journey, I have found that as long as I put a smile on at least one person's face or made a difference in at least one person's life, then I will take that win.
Yeah. Yeah. Small wins are better than no victories.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing that I'm learning. Even if the victory I'm celebrating just has to be mine. You know, sometimes
Absolutely.
I was watching, I was scrolling through Facebook one day and I seen this kid. I don't know if it was a made up story or something, you know, with AI and all this other stuff, but
Right.
this kid was sitting here and it looked like he was on the phone with his mother. And he had a little cupcake with a candle and he was listening to his mother sing happy birthday to him. And all these other people around him are just laughing and snickering. And, you know, it reminded me sometimes that you know, once again, I'm going to meet people in my life that are trying their best to see me fail. Because it's not that they don't want me to win, it's just some of them don't want me to do better than them.
And that's
I'm,
it.
I'm constantly saying, I look in your cup to see if you have enough. You look in my cup to see if I have more. That right there
Right.
tells me we are
We're
not the
different.
same. And I'm having to realize that my joy has to be guarded as much as my sobriety. I have to protect my peace the same way I set boundaries for my recovery, because I'm a firm believer that if I can't find peace, I'm going to find something to make me feel peaceful.
Absolutely.
And I know where to find it. Trust me.
You're right.
The grid coordinate may change, but no matter what 7-Eleven you go in, it's still 7-Eleven. No matter
Yes.
what Burger King you go in, they still selling Whoppers. So I'm having to remind myself that not everybody is rooting for me to win. And I'm learning that this journey that I am on was really not designed for anybody but me.
Absolutely.
And I love that. It's like a video game that
Yes.
nobody else is gonna be able to beat but
Thank
me.
you.
Like sometimes I walk around this piece like I'm Kratos. You know what I'm
I
saying?
thought I was the only one.
No, girl, hold on. Where that? Like,
For real.
like, you gotta understand. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I walk around this piece like I'm Zorro from One Piece. You know what I mean? But I have to look at it at times because I'm a bona fide true gamer.
Oh, that's so funny. I tell Sean all the time that I think the person that holds my remote control to control me is drunk sometimes.
We don't went from the Atari to the Nintendo with just the D-pad, 2 buttons, select and start. Now we got like virtual reality and everything. No,
yeah, no kidding.
But I'm sitting here looking at it because like I am blessed to have a profoundly wondrous imagination. Like I grew up on J.R. Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. I grew up on The Last Unicorn. I grew up where imagination was designed to create greatness. And somewhere I lost my imagination due to childhood trauma and things like that. But now I get to be me.
Right.
And I love it. I'm a 50-year-old anime fanatic, video game playing, mixed martial arts studying person in long-term recovery trying to create something better than how I found it. And I know days are going to be rough, but I am so happy that I am blessed to have people in my life that how the young people get it. I got people thugging with me. I got people riding. You ain't no thug, bruh. I'm sorry. You 17 years old, gang banging in pink skinny jeans. Come on, bruh. You about as gangster as Tyrone Biggums. It's like, I don't know what they say, Joe Rogan. Red balls gives you wings. About as gangster as Peter Griffin. Nah. But that's one thing that I'm glad that I get to do now. Is I'm not saying I'm Teflon Don, 10-foot and bulletproof.
Right.
But I put enough boundaries and barriers.
And boundaries are very, very important, especially in early recovery.
Yeah.
Those, because people in early recovery, they don't know what healthy boundaries are.
Yeah.
They're so used to being the people pleaser.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like somebody told me, like, man, I got to do this and I got to do this. And if I don't get to do this, they're not going to get to do this. And I said, just like this, I was like, answer me this. If this is the line and this is your property and that's their property, what's keeping them from coming over here? He said, the fence. I said, I grew up on a farm. You know what a fence does?
Right.
The same reason we have locks. Locks are not designed to keep people out. Locks are
Nope.
designed to keep an honest man honest.
That's right.
Boundaries are there to help you protect yourself. Because if you're not walking the perimeter of your boundary, ain't nobody else going to.
Right.
Your mom has her life to live, your significant other, your recovery requires your hard work. And mama always says like this, if you can wake up at the crack of dawn and hustle for 2 or 3 hours doing God knows what to get the money to get your drugs without getting caught by the cops while making sure you got a hotel room for the night.
Amen.
How is going to a meeting so hard?
Amen.
So, I'm to the point where I'm like that young rapper NF, no excuses. I don't anymore. I'm going to have bad days, but a bad day is not an excuse for me to use.
Right.
People are not going to like what I have to say. Hey, that's all right. If I walk into a room with 30 people and I'm by far the most intelligent person in the room, 9 times out of 10, unless I'm getting paid or it's my job to do it.
Absolutely. I'm running.
Because I have to guard my peace.
Yeah.
I have to, because, and this is my belief as a man, as a God-fearing young man, I am the head of the household, not because I'm the one in charge, because I am the one put in place to not only lead my family to Christ, but to make sure that the people I love have the ability to live their life to the fullest.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And I love living in that. That's why I have like such a big old extended family. I'm sitting here looking at my Facebook right now as we're talking, and I'm getting all these messages from my niece Emily and from my little brother Deshaun Trap Baby Banks in Texas, and I'm getting it from my homeboy LaFell White and my nephew Elijah, and I'm just sitting here laughing at all these people who have seen me at my worst.
Yeah.
But have walked with me in my greatness. And I don't know. I'm not saying that nothing in this world will ever change it, but the odds of me relapsing are probably about the odds of them opening up Alcatraz back into a maximum security prison and put nothing but politicians from the House and Senate up in there for a weekend vacation with no Wi-Fi. And I'm, like I said, I'm not saying I'm all omnipotent and I'm all powerful. I just know what I'm working with now. I respect the tools in my toolbox. I know to keep my connections, and I know to give credit where credit is due. On my own will 9 times out of 10 mess up my recovery. But because my higher power has his hands in the people I follow, in the tools I use, in the plans that are made, and in the foundation of what I have built here. What does it say? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. If I do everything toward him, I'm not going to say my life is going to be perfect, but to me right now, it's pretty perfect.
Right. It's perfect for you.
Yeah.
It's just like normal. Define normal. I'm my own kind of normal.
Normal is what society says is the general the general consensus. You know, like which sells more, chicken or beef?
Right.
So if society said we need to get these cows, you know what I'm saying? We need to sell more beef. So we don't sit here and start saying there's something wrong with the chicken.
Right.
You know, I remember at one point in time they used to try to say Coca-Cola had cocaine in it.
Yeah, I remember.
So believe whatever you want, believe whatever you will, but that's why you're given the ability to make your own conscious choices. And if you make the wrong choice, I'm not here to point fingers at anybody. But the good thing of why we're the top of the food chain, why we're over the lions, the tigers, and the bears is we are conscious of our own existence and we are able to make choices not just based off survival, but based off a desire for a certain outcome. Because truthfully, and this is my opinion, when I was in my addiction, I was no different than a wolf or a stray dog. I'm
Yep.
just trying to survive. And
Yep.
I'm just making the choices that are limited to me to get the outcome that I wanted. Now, I feel like I have my kingdom and I am required to rule my kingdom to the best of my ability. Now, I don't know what's going on the next neighborhood's kingdom, but you know, over here in Rick's Toshiro, I'm doing me. And I'm
Well,
lucky I'm surrounded
and
by
I just
people.
want to say before we close out that anybody that's watching this, if you're struggling or you know of somebody or you are somebody that is in active addiction but looking for help, please, please get a hold of somebody. Get a hold of Rick. Get a hold of myself, Barbara Miller on Facebook. We would be more than happy to guide you in the direction that you need to go. If you want to come on the show and tell your story in your recovery path, contact Brian or I. We would love to have you on the show.
Yeah, because if you can't tell, you know, we have fun. We joke when it needs to laugh. We get serious when it needs to get serious. But I want to make sure that this point right here is stated. I in no way, form, or fashion want anybody to believe that you are not worthy of hope.
And you're not alone.
Everybody is worthy of happiness. But
Absolutely.
despite your misgivings, despite what somebody told you, nobody has the right to tell you who and what you were supposed to be because they weren't the ones who created you. Even your parents were blessed with you, but even they do not have to make the choices you do.
Sometimes we need to be the voices for the ones that don't have a voice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I can get loud, I get funny,
Me
and
too.
I can get real serious. But when it's all said and done, we are here to listen.
Absolutely.
We are here to listen because sometimes I don't have to say anything. I just want you to know that your words are being heard because there's a
Absolutely.
difference between hearing and listening. I
Yes,
want you to
there
know,
sure is.
I
There's a
want you to
huge
know,
difference.
I want you to know that what you say will be heard. And I want you to know that I will see you, not your past,
Right.
not your prison number or this, that, and the other. I want you to know that I will be talking to you. We will be listening to you. And no matter what anybody says, we will try our best to understand. Even if I've never been through it, I'm smart enough to put the dots together because I'm from a
Absolutely.
generation of playing connect the dots to get the picture. So I may take a second to get it, but we got you. Just please talk to a counselor, see a therapist, talk to a friend, go to talk to your pastor. talk. If you're got somebody who's incarcerated, man, ask them to get in a program. There are so many resources out there other than Vermont
Yeah,
that are
other than
there
Vermont.
that are there and designed to help you, because I want you to know that your life is important. You matter. And if you don't think you matter to anybody else, know
You
that you
matter to
matter.
us.
You matter to us. And we
You
will
are not
always be.
alone.
And I don't care if you suffer from mental health diagnosis, if you come from childhood trauma, addiction, alcoholism, domestic violence, abandonment issues. Hey, trust me, short or not, we are the best that you got. And we
Yes,
will always
absolutely.
be here for you. So, sis, we're going to have to keep doing this. Hopefully,
Absolutely.
we'll get a couple of people up on here, because I can have up to 10 people on here and we can have a whole,
Oh,
you
that
know what
would
I'm
be
saying?
fantastic.
We can sit here and talk and talk and talk, and I get as much time because I think I've only used 5 of the 70 hours, and I can always delete it, copy and paste.
That would be wonderful.
But I'm glad you are doing good today, sis. Thank you for being you.
Thank you for being
And
you.
I try. I do what I do when I can. But I hope your day brings you joy, peace, and happiness, sis, because I truly believe you deserve it. And I
Thank
am
you.
so proud of the things you were trying to do.
Thank you.
Don't let anybody take your voice away from you, because you have a wonderful heart, and your humility and compassion knows no bounds. And if anybody got a problem with what you doing, trust me, I got goons, and we roll deep. But I love you, sis.
I
You
love you
enjoy the
too.
rest of your day. I hope everybody has a good time. And remember, at all times, stay hopeful, stay blessed, stay unchained. Y'all have a good evening.